Hello everyone, I am Lemon Shinobi, and this is the review of mine and my mama's 7-day cruise on the Norwegian Encore. First off, let's begin with general ship design. Okay, I'm gonna say this. There's things I liked about the ship. I love that it has a go-kart course. I love that it had a laser tag course. There's a lot of things I didn't love, honestly. For you smokers out there thinking about taking a trip on the Norwegian Encore, I will say this: there's about like 4 places you can smoke, and most of them are ridiculously small in the terms of seating options, in the terms of space itself. Like I could go on that, but be prepared for very unventilated areas and very small spaces to begin with, and no chairs, like barely any chairs, and the one on the pool deck, and pretty much yeah, and that's going to be that about the smoking areas. The pool deck itself, for everybody that's not part of the Haven class of people that were on the ship, the pool area is literally 2 very, very small pools. They do have I will say they do have a very good children's area where they can play and run around screaming their lovely little heads off the whole time. But pool area is limited. Also, I will say this about the pool area: the four hot tubs that are on the ship to everybody, there's only 4 of them, and they are 1 deck up. Honestly, they're not on the same deck as the pool area, which I found a little weird. Usually, well, not usually, but in the ships that I've been on before in the past, I will say that usually the hot tubs and the pool are usually on the same decks, usually pretty near each other. The casino was okay, kind of scattered, and the smoking area of the casino was very separate. You will not smell a thing of smoke if you go hit up the casino. I will say I love that there was like 3 different arcades, not even including Galaxy Pavilion, which is the VR arcade on the ship. So there is plenty of places for kids to actually play on all over the cruise, and multiple kids clubs, teens clubs. Excuse me, just ate dinner while recording this. I feel like a lot of the ship, to be honest, I feel like major portions of the ship were, if I have to say it from like going on an airline preference, I feel like a lot of the ship was dedicated to first class, if you get what I'm saying, in the Haven area, as the Haven area has its own pool, has basically its own restaurant on it. And I don't know, as I felt as a regular, probably the person that's probably the people that are probably gonna buy more tickets than, say, the Haven area, I feel like more of the ships should have been dedicated to, say, everybody else than it was. And some of the shops were just literally in the hallways, and some of the shops had their actual own space. To really explain it all, it's very confusing of why the ship design. Also, another thing I will probably put on reference is there's only 2 elevator areas. And while that wasn't too much of an inconvenience, I will say that when people were getting on and off the ship, say in ports for going off for excursions and stuff, the forward elevators were jam-packed, like for that, mostly that whole day. It's people getting on, people getting off, and sometimes they would just like literally close the elevators down without any reference to people with disabilities or anything like that. And I felt like at least one of the elevators should have been open for people with disabilities, especially on I call them excursion days, but port arrival days. If I was going to give it its own rating, actually, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it the whole overall ship design. I will give, honestly, I'll give a 6 too. It could have been better. It could have been way better, and I've been on better ships with way better designs than the Norwegian Encore. I hate to say it, but it's true. Alright, now let's talk about the ship's entertainment. The ship's entertainment was fabulous. Everything from the Beatles invasion to Choir of Men. I kind of wish Kinky Boots was going to be on the ship. It was stated to be on the ship, but it left literally like a month before me and Mom's was going. It literally left the ship a month before me and Mom's was going to be on that ship, and I was very, very sad that we didn't get to see Kinky Boots. But still, even with Kinky Boots gone, the entertainment on the ship, fabulous, amazing, awesome. And I will say that from and multiple places where you can see multiple acts, the only probably thing I will say anything negative towards is probably the Mentalist show that we saw like day one, like embarkation day. It wasn't, I'm not much, but that's more of me personally. I'm not much of a mentalist kind of person. I don't mind a magician or stuff like that, but there's certain magics out there that don't appeal to me, so it kind of just really didn't draw me in. I will say, I guess this happens, but I kind of wonder why. But it also felt like everything was like being charged for, like for deal or no deals. We charged like $50 for 3 cards. Also, bingo was damn near an outrageous price for cards. Like, you could charge $10 per card and still made around $50, but it felt like they were only selling packets of cards. And I don't know, the prizes didn't really feel like it was worth the money investing into it. And I get that it's gambling and maybe they have to charge. I don't know the rules or / laws on that. I felt like that was a little too damn expensive. Like, it was like a little too much of a charge, but I don't know the rules behind that, and they had to charge that. So I really don't want to put that on Norwegian or the staff of Norwegian Encore for that. But it just felt like it was a little much. Enough that we only did bingo like twice, and deal or no deal, the first time we did it, we got like 2 free cards, and the second time we did it, we had to pay literally like $70 for 3 cards that were basically damn near gone by the time the first game was done. Things like, also I will say, for it having a big screen on its pool deck, I feel like the Encore itself could have showed way more movies at night, especially on nights that it wasn't doing anything. I understand that we was going to port next day, but you could have easily shown a movie on there. Even an older movie would have been probably perfectly fine. But you wasn't. Like, when I've been on, the last time I went on a Norwegian ship was for, well, not that one, but Star Trek The Cruise 2, which is another poster over there on my wall. And they showed, I get that it was a theme cruise, but we had movies every single night. It was a perfect use of a big screen, especially when they're not throwing parties on the pool deck or anything like that. But this cruise, they had this big screen, and while they did show some of the Final Four, I don't know, it felt like even then, they only showed like 1 game of the whole Final Four. And for a 7-day cruise, there was more than 1 game. It felt like more could have been done in that area. And I hope somebody from Norwegian sees this. And if you're gonna have a big ass screen on your pool deck, use it. But yeah, overall, I would give entertainment on the Norwegian Encore a solid 9. Only a few small things could have been done to make it even better. But overall, like the shows, the musical performances, karaoke, everything was, and the dance parties on the pool deck when we had them were all great. I really have like no major going. It deserves a very, very solid high 9 of between 1 and 10, obviously. So yeah. Okay, now let's talk about the shops on the ship. All right. Usually when I'm on usually past experiences of cruises, and I know I'm kind of basing this on this, usually there's like more per se sales or stuff like that to, you know, generate more customers to those shops. While they did have the traditional like charm bracelet thing, which I went to get, I made sure to get mom's charm bracelet every day because I'm a good son. And I know she loves the charm bracelet, the charms for the charm bracelet and the charm bracelet itself every time she goes on a cruise. And plus, usually when they were having, anyway, I'm going off. The shops themselves, like the main like cruise shop, like the place where you would buy your carton of cigarettes or your souvenirs, like your ship souvenirs that literally have like the Norwegian, you know, logo on it and stuff like that. There was barely any Norwegian like merch, which is a little sad saying for a cruise line. Like, hey, I want to say I've been on a Norwegian ship. There was like shirts, but there wasn't a very good variety of it. They had maybe like one model of the Encore itself up for grabs. I felt like the shops overall were very disappointing in some points. I've never walked into a cruise, an Eastern Caribbean cruise, and the shop on the cruise ship didn't have rum cake on it. Really, bruh? Like, call me what you want, but you have no rum cake in your shop? Yeah, they were very just like, disappointing is the only word that keeps coming to my brain. I wish I could say they were better. It wasn't service inside the shops. Service was good. It was just the shops themselves. I felt like they could have been more, and I felt as a customer they weren't very attracting to me. Also, for some odd damn reason, between say the shops and you heading towards the casino area, I don't know where to put this on the ship, and I didn't take video of this. They had these shops set up in the middle of a hallway, and give it that the shops are right there next to the aft elevators. So you have to go past the shops, and then you get to this hallway that they had this, I don't know if it was, honestly, it didn't really have a name. It was just like some weird shop that had like extra purses and stuff like that. Stuff that you could have put into the main cruise shop, like the main cruise ship shop. And for some reason, they set out this extra outpost in the hallway. And honestly, all it did was to clog the foot traffic. That's all it did, really, because I barely saw anybody buying anything from them places. I saw more people literally in the freaking candy, the candy store that they had, than stopping in them hallway shops that were really just blocking traffic. I you know, I'm a big dude and stuff like that, but so I kind of like space when it comes down to hallways, and I get it as a cruise ship, but clogging up a hallway for really no good reason made no damn sense to me at all. Like, and that was the only hallway that I would actually bump into somebody, because they had these two shops on the side of this hallway just blocking it up more. So overall, I'm going to give the shops a 5. Like, no, honestly, I'm going to give the shops a 4. The hallway one definitely brings it down, and it could have been better. Like, I've been on other cruise line. I've been on other cruise lines that have done their shops way better, and that doesn't wasn't it Norwegian. You need to do something about that. Like, hopefully you do, because that was just, your shops were set up very weirdly and very just getting in people's way. So yeah, you get a solid 4. Alright, so now we're going to talk about what people really think about when they go on a cruise. The food. Especially my fat butt. Alright. I'm not one to really criticize food, obviously. Usually I'm pretty okay with whatever you put on the plate in front of me, I'm going to at least try. And I did that on this cruise. And I will say, the first thing I'm going to say is the good thing. The specialty restaurants on the Norwegian Encore. I don't know why I keep saying Carnival. The Norwegian Encore were fabulous, except for one. And we'll get to that in a second. American Diner. I can name all day. American Diner, the seafood restaurant, the American one. Every specialty restaurant was fabulous except for one. Even the seafood one, and I'm not even a big fan of like most seafoods, like mussels and clams and stuff like that. I'm not even a big fan of that. Even their food was very, very delicious. I cannot say that about the buffet and dinner at the complimentary restaurants. Anytime we went to the buffet, that food was the blandest stuff. It felt like most of it was boiled in water, including the sausage. And it's hard. It's very hard to make sausage taste bad to me, or to have no flavor at all. And I really wonder where they got that sausage. And even beyond everything, the eggs felt like they were powdered. I mean, the eggs taste like they were powdered. And this is all the buffet, by the way. And the buffet just, every time I went there, it tasted wrong. It tasted like either it was rushed, or the food was just boiling water, no seasoning towards the flavoring of it or anything like that. And I understand that it is in bulk that is being cooked, but man, throw a goddamn some salt and pepper into it. And sorry for my cursing, but it was that bad. If you want to eat, I'm gonna say this: you want to make a big man not eat your food, that's what you do. I would tell anybody, and I would recommend to anybody: do not eat the buffet on the Norwegian Encore. Do not eat it. It sucked. Now, the reason I say complimentary dinner and not like complimentary altogether, because the breakfast was pretty good, even though I did have one instance of, the only thing I would say negative about the breakfast, because we ate most breakfasts in either Taste or Savor, two of the complimentary restaurants that are like right across from each other. They were pretty good most of the time. Service was 100% awesome. But there was like 1 or 2 times where I ordered hash browns, one of my favorite things to eat in the morning with eggs, and the hash browns, one came out like little freaking hockey pucks that you get from Taco Bell or something like that, like something you would get out of a fast food restaurant more than you would get a luxury cruise line. And a couple of those times, them things came out cold, like not like they've been under a heat lamp cold, like somebody forgot to defrost them in the microwave all the way cold. Like they were still like had some ice in the middle of those. So yeah, like I would definitely say if you are about to sail on Norwegian Encore, go with the specialty restaurants if you can. Eat breakfast in the complimentary restaurants. Oh, and the last thing that super, super made me angry. When we did go to complimentary dinner, I think on the second night, all our food was so salted down. Like, I ordered spinach dip and chips, and Mama ordered 3 cheese ravioli. And that thing, both those things tasted like they were boiled literally in the seawater that was flowing outside. That's how salty they were. So giving an overall rating to the food overall, and trust me when I say this, the specialty restaurants are bringing this rating up. I give a 6. No, yeah, I'll give a 6 to them because the specialty restaurants were like amazing. But the complimentary food itself, it had more downs than it had ups. So yeah, it gets a solid 6 in my, yeah, a solid 6. Like, and that's not even like really specialty dining is the only thing lifting it up, because honestly I kind of want to give it a 4 for just the complimentary dining especially. And if it's just a buffet alone, I would give a 2. So that tells you what I think about it. Alright, let's talk about the stops. I'm not going to include the stop that we couldn't go to, and nor hold that against Norwegian Cruise Lines. That happens. It's happened on many cruises before. Not to me personally, this is the first time that's ever happened to me, but thinking about it now, yeah, that's the first time it ever happened to me where I couldn't go to a stop. But it does happen. Whether multiple things can stop a ship from going into port. So I'm not going to let that one. But overall, the stops and the excursions that we went on were amazing. Well, at least I can say that. Mama Lumpy kind of she kind of ditched her excursions and started doing her own thing, which I'm really proud of her as a person, because she just, honestly, I really didn't expect it of her. She's taught me everything I know about cruising, and one of her many, I won't say rules, but guidelines was always go with the ship's excursions, because at least the ship, you know, it had to be like, it goes through the ship, you know. They know when to be back. You know, they're there, right there when you get off. But I will say my excursions that I did take through the ship were amazing. From those that watched the previous videos, my tour in St. Thomas was great. I will say the bus was starting to be crowded, but you know, I'm not gonna expect anything not to be crowded for me. So if you're on the skinnier side, you're okay. Our tour guide though was great. Very funny, very informative about the many wonders of St. Thomas. The stop that we stopped at was great and scenic and great to take pictures. Even, excuse me, if you go to my Twitter, one of those stops is one of my banners and my picture. That's how good they were. I literally changed my profile picture to that photo that I took there. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and the baths, Tortula, if I'm saying that right, I still don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not, was amazing. Honestly, it was so beautiful, and taking that boat ride to the island where the baths are was great. I can't say anything negative about the hike towards it. Most people were like, "Oh, dude, how did you survive that?" Actually, I've been asked that, like, how did you do that? And I just muscled through, I guess. I hate to say this because I hate when people say it, but I literally just manned up and just walked through it. Took breaks when I needed to. But it was worth it. Everything I did, every physical thing I did was completely worth it. I loved the baths. I loved going through those caves. I loved the scars I got from the rocks. I loved everything about it. And also, I will say they definitely did pick very good excursions to be under, like, on their website. Their excursions and their stops were amazing and great. I have no qualms towards it. I love St. Thomas. I love Tortola. And given to the announcement that I made, I'm going to say a little bit later, and a little clue what's coming up in the video, I'm probably going to love the Dominican Republic too. Shh, don't tell nobody. Okay, I just realized that I totally forgot to mention, to give a rating to the ports, the stops on the ship. I mean, the stops on the cruise. They're obviously solid 10s. Okay, but now let's talk about service. Once again, another solid 10. Staff on the ship was well informed. They had great energy, very helpful. You ask for anything and they're moving heaven and earth for you. Staff was amazing. Service on the ship was amazing. I can't, there's no negative thing. When I think of staff, I don't think of anything negative at all. Even at the bars and stuff like that, staff was great. Yeah. In the restaurant, staff was great. Staff was great everywhere. Smiles on their face. Just everywhere we went. I can't think of a negativity for them. A very, very 100% solid 10. I definitely say, if you go on the ship, gratitudes will definitely be earned for the staff. So tip wisely. I mean, tip nicely, because they will earn it. They will earn it. Okay, so I do have one more segment after this, but this is gonna be my overall rating for the cruise. The food brings it down, honestly. Like, if you can't do your buffet good, if it's flavorless, I feel like food is a very important part of going on a cruise. You go on a cruise to eat. One of the things you go on a cruise for is to eat, or at least in my case, and to not feel bad about yourself because everybody's eating as much as you are. And for there be parts of food that was, honestly, that was very disappointing in my eyes. So that brings this rating down a lot. Things that do pick it back up was the service on the ship, the ports that we went to, I mean the places that we went to, the entertainment, except for the Mentalist show, but whatever. I will say I don't like how, and even in essence, how much the cruise was designed, how much the ship was designed for its haven crowd. And I'm not talking like the adults only area was something you had to pay for, where there's other cruise lines that you don't have to pay at all for that. Carnival. And the fact that they had that, and they had that whole haven area on like literally the opposite side of it, kind of makes you feel excluded from those like places in general. And I get the haven area, but the haven area had its like own restaurant that was literally like overlooking the pool area. It kind of makes you feel like, well, honestly, it makes like the rich overlooking the poor. And I think I don't know, I'm in the US right now, and we're kind of getting a little tired of that. But that's going political. I don't want to go too far on that, but I'm going to say I don't like people looking over me. I didn't like that the adult only area was something you had to pay extra for per day, like per entrance into it. I didn't like there's only 4 hot tubs on the whole ship, and only two pools for for the whole ship. I've been on smaller cruise ships that have way more aquatic places to chill out at. So yeah. And the shop's design also really kind of messed it up for me too. But besides those things, staff service, great. Fellow passengers, great. Where we went to, the places, the destinations we went to, great. Even with one we couldn't go to because of seas and how the seas were that day, it was still a great experience. Honestly, it just makes me want to eventually go back to that one place that we didn't go to. But once again, I can't really blame, I can't really, not blame, but I can't really put that on Norwegian that we couldn't go there. I mean, honestly, they're just looking out for our safety with that one. So yeah, my overall rating for this cruise, okay, and I will say this with saying I'm a little experienced. I've been on at least 7 cruises in my lifetime. I give this one a solid overall 7. Would I sail on the Encore again? Only if it was like themed, like it was a themed cruise, honestly. I wouldn't book, if it was the Encore as a ship, I wouldn't book it for like myself or any, I wouldn't recommend it to people, honestly. It has some things that may drive another person off, especially a goddamn buffet. Sorry for cursing, but if you mess up a buffet, you kind of lost my vote for coming back to your ship. If you can't do buffet, which is the most simplest of things for most of your passengers, yeah, that messes them up. So honestly, staff, entertainment, and all the other good things is the only thing lifting this thing up to a 7 and it not being a 6. So yeah, it's a solid 7. But hold on, I have one more thing to tell y'all. Okay, so I really started vlogging this whole cruise experience because honestly, I told my Twitch community that I was going on this cruise, and people did ask me to vlog it, and people were interested in it, and I started to vlog it. And honestly, I didn't expect the response that these videos have gotten, but it's kind of made me realize that I do know a lot about cruising. I do have major experience in cruising. I've done it for most of the, I won't say most of the 2000s, but I've done it at least like 7 times from 2000 to now. So I do have tiny little bits of experience, and I will be making more videos cruise related on this channel. Maybe even shorts with small tips and stuff like that. But my major announcement is, when me and Mama Lumpy got home, we had a little bit extra money left. So we do what most cruisers do. We booked another cruise. And that's the major announcement. Besides, I'm gonna do some more cruise videos, like say packing tips and stuff like that. Just general tips on how to book a cruise, because a lot of people think that when you book a cruise, everything is paid for. That is wrong, and that will be a video down the line. Yeah, we are going on a cruise. We are going on an 8-day Southern Caribbean cruise next year in 2024. Obviously, I'm a poor content creator, so it has to be next year. And we really do not like going to. We don't like going on cruises in the summer because we already live in Florida. Why would we deal with the heat even more? For Floridians, summertime is the time to stay inside and stay in the AC. So yes, we will be going in spring of next year. I think early April. I would have to definitely check on that. But we'll be going on the Carnival Magic. A little bit older ship, but already is looking pretty good. I will be video vlogging it. We already have some excursions already planned and paid for already. I won't say most of it, but a lot of the cruise has already been paid for already. And we plan to play it out throughout the end of the year. We have until January to pay it fully up, which we've already done the math on that. We can easily do that with the bills that we currently have right now, unless the economy crashes or some shit like that. But you can't worry about everything in the future. So yeah, that's the major announcement. We are going on another cruise. There will be another vlog next year, and I will be doing some videos. I can't really tell you when because I have to think of the ideas to talk about, but I will be doing videos about cruise related in the future of this year, 2023. And hopefully I have a little bit of time, and hopefully the food's a little bit better on the Carnival Magic than it was on the Norwegian Encore. And I've never been, me personally, no, this is the first time me and our moms will be going to the Southern Caribbean. We'll be going to Aruba. We have such a hard time pronouncing this one. Boracay, I think is how it's said. La Ramona, the Dominican Republic, and Amber Cove, Carnival's. I won't say. I even personally thought it was Carnival's private island. No, but it is a plot of land owned by Carnival in the Dominican Republic, and it's. The funny thing about Amber Cove is it's literally right next door to where we were going to go on Norwegian Encore. It is literally right next door. Like, if you look on the map, it is next door. So much that the excursions are nearly the same for both places. So, I get to go back. We will be going to the Dominican Republic this time, one way or another, because we have 2 stops in the Dominican Republic now, upcoming. So, yes. Obviously, make sure, the whole YouTuber thing, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Especially the subscribe and like part would be really great. And thank you, everybody. I wanna give a special thank you to everybody that's been commenting on the cruise videos, the new subscribers that we've gotten. Thank you so much. You've definitely made me feel like this was a good idea to actually vlog it. I had my doubts about vlogging this and putting this up on putting this whole cruise on YouTube. So I highly appreciate it. Mama Lumpy says hi to all y'all. She didn't want to do the review with me because she doesn't like to be critical of people, and that's fine. I like to let people know at least my thoughts on it. So I guess that's where we differ. But I love her, and she will be going on the next cruise with me. I'll make sure I'm going to teach her how to use her new iPhone. Well, not a new iPhone, but her iPhone, and how to record video on it. And I know, it's easy, but for I don't want to say older person, but a person that doesn't know cell phones, especially as much as she doesn't, it's going to take a minute. It might take the whole day meter to get to it. But once again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And if you like the video, or you have any questions about the future, content going on this channel, or the future cruise that we're paying for right now, please, down there, ask. I'm down to answer questions. Hell yeah. Okay? Or if you have any cruise related questions, please write them in the comments. I will definitely answer to the best of my knowledge. Bye everybody. Thank you for watching.